This is the KTT Kang Whites switches. This is a new budget linear switch from KTT, and some say it's the smoothest KTT switch. So how do they sound and feel? Let's find out. But first, a quick message from our channel sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all your PCB prototyping needs, and let me tell you about their shared projects. This is an open source platform where creators can share their projects and inspire more enthusiasts into building. Not only that, if you find something interesting, you can quickly add it to your cart, and PCBWay will donate a 10% cost to the creator. If you want to learn more about this, head over now to pcbway.com, links in the description. What is going on, guys? RX here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another KTT Switch review, and as I told you before, I will cover every KTT Switch that I can. So we have here the KTT Kang Whites. This is a new creation from KTT, and from what I've heard, they have updated their modes to improve the smoothness. So I'm very much excited for you guys to hear the sound test. So in today's video, it's going to be the usual stock versus lube comparison, a sound comparison with the other KTT switch, and of course a material breakdown. If you want to hear my own thoughts and opinion about the switch, please do stick around at the end of the sound test. And speaking of sound test, let me give you guys a quick disclaimer before we start. That the sound and experience may vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that it might sound and feel different on your board. We are of course be using the Vega65 with a polycarbonate plate, a PCB to plate foam, and one case foam. The switches was looped with a Krydox 205 grade 0 and 105 grade 0 on the springs. The keycaps that was used on the sound test was a Domi key set, and now with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test for the KTT Kang Whites. So that was the sound test for the KTT Kang Whites. Let me know what you think about them on the comment section down below. Feel free to type them in. And before we talk about my own thoughts and opinion about the Switch, you already know what's next. Let's break down the materials that was used on the Switch. As you can see, this is a 3-pin switch and is using a Kale style housing. So we have polycarbonates on the top housing. Also, we have nylon for the bottom housing. And of course, we have POM on the stem. Last would be the progressive springs with a 58-gram bottom-out force. So that was a material breakdown on the KTT Kang Whites, and if you made it up to this point, I would like to say thank you for staying. And again, let me remind you of our disclaimer that the sound and experience may vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that it might sound and feel different on your board. Finally, let's all talk about my thoughts on the feel. On stock, it feels really smooth, like I already expected this since I've tried the other KTT switches, but this still surprised me on how smooth they are. Although there's some noticeable scratches, it was still smooth nonetheless. I didn't feel that raw plastic feeling when typing, and I can honestly say that you can use them on stock or out of the box. Since it was already smooth on stock, I only lubed them lightly, and boy, once lubed, it felt so much smoother and a bit better. I don't know, I always lube my switches no matter how smooth a switch is on stock. I could still feel a little bit of scratchiness, but you wouldn't really notice it unless you are typing really slow. Now, the progressive spring is such a nice touch on the switches. It really complements the 58-gram bottom-out force, and it's just so nice to type on. I can really see myself using them on a daily basis, as they really feel nice for a budget linear switch. Moving on to my thoughts on the sound. On stock, there was a bit of a spring ping, but it wasn't that bad and a big deal. I can say that it wouldn't really bother you too much. It didn't sound all over the place and sluggish on stock. Once lubed, of course, it helps reduce the spring pings, and I barely notice them once done lubing. The sound is more on the deeper sound profile, which sounds really nice on my Vega. I'm not really a fan of deep sounding linear switch, but this one sounds amazing on my build, so I had to give it a pass. Overall, I really recommend trying out these switches and see it for yourself. Honestly, at its price point, considering how good they are on stock, I can really say that this is a really good beginner switch, especially for those people who don't really have a time and extra budget to lube their switches, as the switches sounds and feel really fine on stock. Again, if you do decide to lube them, of course the experience would make it so much better. Some light applications should be fine, and I would suggest focus on the springs and on the rails. I can say that the KTT Kang Whites are a really big budget contender for a best budget linear switch, as I know they come in at 27 cents per switches, and I would really recommend them over the Akko switches, as these are far better when it comes to stock switch. Now, comparing them to the other KTT switches, I can say that they are a tad bit better and smoother in terms of stock and lube. I'm not saying that they are perfect on stock, but for what you get, this is really a good pickup that you should try or add in terms of your linear switches. Right now, I rate the Kang Whites as the best among the other KTT switches out there. So yeah, that is it for the video, guys. I hope you find the review helpful, and if you do, please don't forget to hit the like button, and let's try to aim for the 50 likes as usual. I know we can do it. So what's next? Well, we will continue to try the other KTT switches, and I have the KTT Peach, Strawberry, and Matcha Greens to try, so better watch out for that. So again, please don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next sound test. Peace.